Indigenous law is an essential part of Indigenous peoples being peoples. Law is the essential ingredient for every society, every people. It's a part of governance, it's a part of how we manage ourselves, it's a part of how we are responsible for ourselves and for one another and to non-human life forms.
The special thing about the law school experience has really just been having my mind continually blown by my classmates and professors in everything that we're learning and getting to spend the time together. It's been a grueling 4 years, but it's also been a glorious 4 years.
So the program, it's vitally important. It's part of this fabric of Indigenous laws in Canada, and the reclamation, the strengthening, the regrowth. It's really rebuilding citizenries with that legal knowledge in communities, transforming the legal arena. So it's doing all this really great, wonderful work, and some of the work we don't even know where it's going to lead to as well. So that's always really exciting to be that bridge into a new sort of era for legal practice in Canada.
One of the highlights for me was when we got to attend field school in our third year. We got to go on site in Coast Salish territory. And that was a really special moment because we've invested so much time in learning in the Coast Salish Legal Order and the Hulkaminam language. So being able to be out there on the land and really connect our learning really made a huge impact on me, I would say.
Something that's made my UVic Law experience special is witnessing my own personal growth through this program, but also witnessing the growth of all my colleagues in the cohort and seeing where they're about to go for their careers has been really inspiring.
The opportunity to learn from Indigenous scholars, to be part of a smaller cohort where you have the opportunity to make relationships with a really exceptional group of people has really made this worth it.
My hope for this is I look at this, it's changing the legal profession and creating abundance for all people involved. And so I look at it as nourishing work for Indigenous peoples, nations, communities, children, and the grads themselves as well. And so hopefully that kind of nourishment creates a better legal profession.
So I'll be returning to the mainland to work in the field of Aboriginal law, and I hope to play a supporting role in the work of Indigenous peoples defending their rights in Canadian law and revitalizing their own legal systems across the country.
What I hope to do in my practice is to be a part of creating the space for legal pluralism in these lands that we call British Columbia and Canada, because legal pluralism has existed here among Indigenous peoples forever, and Canadian law is a newcomer to that. So we need to seek our place within those relationships.
What I hope to do with my degree is actually involved in criminal defense work, and specifically looking at the ways in which we can kind of expand or move beyond the scope of the criminal code to include Indigenous laws, recognizing the disproportionate amount of Indigenous folks who are incarcerated and otherwise caught up in the legal system. And I think in a way that's really creative and dynamic in recognizing that Indigenous law stands on its own rather than in contrast or comparison to common law.
There's a lot of areas where the kind of legal profession needs change and should grow. I think one of the ones that I would think of is to have Indigenous laws taken seriously by all legal practitioners and working toward that, whether that's in the courtroom or in everyday conversations.
One of the things that we've learned in this program from our professors and mentors, and I'm thinking in particular of Dr. John Borrows, is that even though law has been a site of violence and continues to be a site of violence in Canada, it can also be a site of healing.
I hope these grads are able to center Indigenous law in the world as a productive way for people to learn and to manage themselves. And what I mean by that is that they have a collaborative and principled way to solve problems. What I hope these grads take with them are those abilities to think critically, to ask hard questions, to understand that law is holistic, it's intellectual as well as spiritual, as well as every other part of being human. And so to take that with them so that law is never reduced to technical matters and never reduced to just words on paper. It's much more than that.
I just have so much gratitude to Dr. Val Napoleon and Dr. John Burroughs for spending the last couple decades putting this together. It was my dream, and I can't wait to put it into practice and do this program proud. I love them.